Hi everyone, I just wanted to have a follow-up video to the book reading that I did of The Invisible String. And if you got to listen to it, then you may have noticed that it's a wonderful book about connection and how we can stay connected to those who may not physically be with us, but we're emotionally connected to them within our hearts with the invisible string. So I felt this project was super relevant to our times right now because we're in a time of quarantine and we're not used to socializing in the way that we are. So we're having to do a lot of things via distance. So this might be a good project for your kiddos to do together after you read the book. So what I did was I went ahead and I printed out some printables of the United States. You could also do one of Arizona or whatever state you're in. I'm in Arizona, so I printed an Arizona. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out so that I can glue them on some paper. And if you're doing this with your children, depending on their age, they may already be a pro at cutting, but if they're not and they're starting to learn how to cut, it's a great activity to strengthen their fine motor skills. It's also a great activity to help them manage their frustration, because when they're trying to do something and they can't, sometimes they might get angry, they might want to give up, they might want to tear their paper, so they might find it very frustrating that they can't cut so easily. But if you're doing this with them, you can absolutely help them through that by teaching them to stop and take a break, to take deep breaths, letting them know that this is art and that there is no such thing as perfect art. It's just creative. So, you know, if they feel like they made a mistake, then you can just encourage them to create something else out of it. There's just a lot of opportunity during the time that you're simply cutting and getting through that process. So definitely a time to encourage and help them. And if they're too little, then you can just skip doing that, or you can cut it for them ahead of time. You can just prep for it. If you're super artsy, you can also just draw it yourself. I'm not that creative in that way, so I am not even able to draw an outline of my states freehand. So I just got some construction paper and I'm just going to glue it on here just to kind of make it look pretty. You might want to use a glue stick for children that are younger, because sometimes they'll just want to squeeze all the glue out because it's super fun. So just glue that on there. It's also fun just to let them help you put it on the paper and squish it all down for you. Kids love doing squishing. We'll put this other one on here. Okay, so we have the United States and we have Arizona. Okay. And now what you can do is you can talk about who has an invisible string. Who do they miss that they're not seeing right now? Who do they feel connected to? And You know, it might be their friends at school, it might be Nana and Grandpa, or an aunt or uncle, but this is definitely a great time to create that conversation with your kids. So if they say they miss their friends, then expand that conversation. Well, what do you miss most about so-and-so? What did you like to do together? And just, you know, be curious with them and ask more things. Same thing with family or teachers, whoever they miss. Just try to increase and build on that. Create some rapport with them. So you can just take a marker. I chose a red marker. They can choose whatever they want. That's kind of the beauty about art and about play, is that it's really giving kids a lot of freedom, and they're not going to be making mistakes or anything like that. There's no right or wrong way in art. So I'm picking a red marker, but they might want to pick their favorite color, which maybe it's purple or maybe it's green, and so maybe they want to use that for their heart, and it's totally okay. Art gives them a lot of freedom and a lot of choices, and that's something that our kids definitely need, because we know that we don't always get to give them all of these choices because we need to keep them safe. So I'm just gonna put a heart in the middle, but if you want, you could be geographically correct and put where you actually are in the state that you are. I'm gonna put a couple more, just wherever. Again, creating conversation with them. So maybe they have a cousin who lives in Tempe, Arizona, or another nearby town. Maybe they have someone that lives in Tucson. So I just did a couple of hearts there to kind of show you guys, and then I'm gonna write me in the middle, put my name, and then put some family members or some friends all around. And then, so this is mine. So I put all of those names there, okay? And then you can use any kind of string that you want. I had some yarn laying around, so I used that, but I mean, you can use like threading string if you want. It's very small, but really I chose this because I had it and because you could see it in pictures better. But you can use whatever you have lying around the house. Okay, I'm just gonna use a little bit of glue to get these going. And they can help you cut the string. They'll probably really enjoy that. And they don't have to be perfect. Nothing's perfect in art. You could talk about all the different places in your state, or when they mention someone, again, you can ask them what they used to love about them. You can ask them some fun things that they want to do when they see them again, or what they wish they can do if they saw them. If you have a more detailed map about your state, you can talk about places you visited and fun things that you could do there. So it's gonna look a little something like that. And then you can do the same thing for the United States map. If you have friends or family all around. And it's the same concept. And again, you can talk about the things that they have in those states. You can talk about maybe if they have someone in New York, you can talk about the fun things that they have in New York. You know, maybe if you're working with a little bit of an older child, you could talk about some history things and talk about maybe the Statue of Liberty or different landmarks there. So, I mean, really you can fit in all kinds of things as a lesson in here. You can talk about geography and different types of conversation can arise from here. So just cutting a few more strands to connect them. So I didn't put that many on the states one, but you can certainly put as many as you need. Just like if you want to laminate it, you can do that. And you can hang this picture somewhere where the whole family will see it, or if the child wants to keep it in their room, it's just a really good visual reminder of who they're connected to. And kids often, they need visualization because they don't have all of that. They don't have all of the ability to look beyond them sometimes, just because of the stage they are in their development. Another great idea to do is that you could take some like school pictures of their friends that they had in the past, and you can put those too, because again, children are super visual. So having those types of visual reminders are super helpful. So you can have something like that on their wall or next to them. And another thing that might be fun for you to do at this time is to create just like a little string bracelet for them, and that can serve as a visual reminder of the invisible string. And if they want, they can go ahead and cut a piece of string and draw a picture or write a letter, and then you guys can have some fun mailing it to different friends or different family members, so they're gonna have that connection with them. And most of the time kids really love getting mail. They get super excited, and they get excited that their friends were thinking about them and putting effort into actually connecting with them. And that goes for any age. It really, even if they're little, they are going to love that they got an actual piece of mail versus just an Amazon box or, you know, something like that. So they're really gonna have a lot of fun with it. I've used this over the years for many reasons. Definitely connecting with people we miss in different states, but you can use this as an activity with foster children who might be missing the family members that they're not currently seeing. And so they can have their string, and they can always remember that they're going to be connected in their heart. I've used it with children when they've had animals, friends, or family members pass away. And so reading the book and reminding them that they're always connected within their heart, and they're going to feel that tug in their heart, and so will whoever else at the other end of the string, regardless if they're actually here or if they've passed on. So there are just a lot of ways that you can use this activity and this book, and I hope that you're able to use it with your young ones and have some fun and make the most of project time during this quarantine time. So be well, stay safe, and check me out another time. Have a good day.